written no notes for anything. Okay, so next person we have is someone called Nadia. If a hug occurs on this floor, there's a 60% chance that Nadia's involved. She's going to be talking about mentoring the mentors, so flipping that on its head. She's Korean. Nadia Lee, everyone.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Anyway. I had cards prepared, but I didn't realize that the other thing wasn't working, so maybe I will get checked. Wish me luck. So, do I do this? Yeah. That's my okay. What do you think the core human values are? I personally believe that it is to love and to help. The very first mentors I had were my parents, lovely, very handsome man and a beautiful woman. And what I learned from my father was how to love the people that you love. So I don't usually have breakdowns, I'm just that kind of person. But when I did, quite recently, my dad came into my room without making a sound and embraced me, whispering, my poor baby. And in that moment, I learned how to care for those you love. And in that moment, unknowingly, he taught me how to live and love as a human. My mom, on the other hand, is not a human. Hear me out. So, she's this like really small but strong woman, and she's just so strong. And she has these like awesome cooking skills, spanning from Korean to Italian to Thai. And she suffers from 3 chronic pains and still continues to work every day. And the other day, I was sitting with her in the living room, and I asked her, do you ever regret having children? Do you ever regret dedicating your whole life and everything you have to raising these 2 kids? And she responded by saying, not even once. It's her caring heart seems to be in great imbalance to how mechanical her strength seems to be. My parents gave and continued to give until I was full and I couldn't take it anymore. But when I started meeting my industry partners, I quickly realized that this was and is going to be different to the unconditional, selfless love that I received from my parents. And so when I met my first industry partner, so I realized that it was going to be different, and I defined this difference as a sort of value exchange. So the mentors would give me experience, expertise, and connection, and I had to give something back. And so when I met my first mentor, this is Song, she is an artist and a gallery curator. And I went into mentorship with her with this like difference embedded in my mind that I had to give something back every time she did something for me. And so she would get me tickets to exhibition openings, and I would create all of her promotional materials for her solo exhibition. And she would get me lunches with artists and curators that I respected, and I would hang her paintings everywhere in like all the galleries for free. And it got to a point where she would like buy me breakfast or lunch or coffee, and I did curate her whole solo exhibition. Like without getting paid, juggling 4 jobs, I did it. And because I had put so much pressure on myself to give back to every favor that I got, this mentorship started to quickly crumble down. And now we say as friends, but we rarely contact each other. But as I started drifting away from Song and I started losing interest in pursuing a career in art curation, I met M with wings. And she used to be the senior product designer of Us2 Studios, which is a design consultancy in Surrey Hills. And now she works at AQ, which is a design consultancy in Japan as the UX design lead. And when I met her, she already had mentored a couple of girls and boys before, so I wasn't the first mentee that she had. And she was this amazing, beautiful person, and every time I met her, I would just be like in awe of her inner beauty. And quickly, maybe after like 2 sessions, I realized even though my first priority in meeting her and reaching out to her was to have a career breakthrough and have all these connections, that my priority would be to just have a great time with this amazing person. But what followed for 5 months, which was how long the mentorship lasted, were the biggest career shifts of my life. So I decided to leave my company that I was at, and I learned so many different UX design software like Sketch and other things, and I just became a better person and became so professional. But what surprised me was that M was going through the same changes. And so when I would share interest about my intrigue in the human condition and just my passion for giving back, she got herself involved in a project designing an app for refugees. So it would take them from their arrival to settlement and get them mentors and get them help through this app. And she got herself involved in that project. And she also decided to leave her company to join her dream studio, which was AQ in Tokyo. And through this experience, I just realized that mentorship is an exchange. And we often think of it as like this career, amazing person in the industry is pulling me, and I'm just like this little sack that they're pulling, and I'm becoming a professional. But it's not, it's an exchanging experience. And so, first thing, my conclusions, one of the first conclusion that I have from my experiences is that mentorship is an autonomous commitment. So you have to feel that you have full control, and you have to bring in everything that you have. Because same in relationships, the person that regrets at the end and has remorse are the ones that didn't put in 100% when it was going on. So you got to put in your 100% into caring for that person and doing everything you can to be as empathetic as you can be. Second conclusion is that mentorship is a human-to-human interaction. So you can't just be like, oh, this person looks cool, looks kind of annoying, but looks like he's going to give me great connections, so I'm just going to talk to him. You can't do that. You have to believe in the person that you have as your mentor or your mentee and really care for them. And also mentees, which is the most of us here, just remember that you need to care for the mentor as much as they care for you. And you need to just look out for each other. Because if you don't have that genuine compassion inside you, you're going to burn out. And that's it. Yes?
Pretty valid. I was just going to ask, how do you go about the process of selecting a good mentor as opposed to a bad mentor? Is there any tips or tricks you have for picking the right kind of person to follow?
For me, all of my mentors that I think you just have to be proactive. I actually met because I went to one of the Hatchery talks about future emerging technologies, and the managing director of our studios was there. And I was like, oh, you're awesome, Ostu sounds great, let's connect. And he said, oh, I can actually hook you up to M. And that's how it happened. And I think if you're sitting there and you're looking at these people and you're like, oh, this person doesn't look great, so I'm not going to contact them, and this person looks great, I don't think it's going to lead you anywhere. I think you just need to find an area that you're really interested in and go to events and meet people face to face and tell them that you're passionate. And when they see the passion in you, they also, I can feel that, and they start kind of I don't know, I think you feed off each other's passions, and they start finding things for you. So I think you just need to be proactive.
Why did you decide to find a mentor?
I think I'm generally a very career-driven person. I just like being successful. And that was honestly my first, well, okay, we stop. Let's go back to the story. The first mentor that I had this ambition that within my university years, I wanted to explore. When I got interested in something, I wanted to have a professional experience. So that I would be like, oh, I kind of like this industry, or I don't like this industry. So with that, it was intrigue and curiosity and drive that made me want to find mentors. But now, I think it's more about just meeting great people. There's nothing better. I used to I used to be like, oh, I hate people and I love being by myself and like, don't talk to me, which nobody who would believe. I'd be like, I'm going to talk to you for a bit, but I'm going to go here. But I really believe that there's nothing better than interacting and having conversations with smart and amazing people that you can connect with, genuinely connect with. And that's what drives me now to find mentors.
So I had a really amazing mentor when I was at university. And I went to a university, I went to Cambridge, and at that time there were 4 men for every 1 woman who was studying. I wasn't really aware of the kind of privilege condition that I was in, and I wasn't really aware of the disadvantage that women faced. But I had an amazing mentor who said to me, "Then you're naive, you're young, come back to me when you've had children, and then see what disadvantage you've experienced." And it was really kind of mind-blowing to hear at the age of 18. And I did try and go back to her. But she died from brain cancer. And so the opportunity to go back and say, that was an amazing thing that you made me think about at that age, was lost. And I think that often, I loved your talk, and I think it's often a case that we don't recognise our mentors at the time when we should, perhaps. And on that note, I'd just like to say thank you to all the mentors here who've been involved in UCIX and helped make it what it is, and supported me in my job and supported all of you and who care so much. And really at their best and do say nice things.
Thank you. It was really, loved your story about the different mentorships. It was so important. And I myself, am experiencing and going through different mentorship processes as well. And I was wondering, based on your 2 experiences, how do you set up the expectations within those relationships? Because the first one, it seemed to be quite uneven in terms of all of the amount of work that you were then doing based on that relationship. So how do you set that up? Or do you set it up?
I think it's always about having your priorities right. And so for me, why that first mentorship? We're still friends, which is great. We were traveling together and everything. But I think you always I think in life in general, I'm so young, I'm so sorry, I'm speaking in front of all these wise, more experienced people. And I'm like, I'm giving you advice, which is like, but what I really believe and I really want to stick to as I get older and my life becomes greater is that I always have my priorities straight. So first thing really shouldn't be success. Success is nothing. Like, one of my recent passions is allowing people to work to live, not work to work, because I've definitely been in that position before where I was working and I wanted to be successful. It's like, I'm going to be this amazing person, like a board advisor, come at me, CEO. And I had been working like that, like juggling 4 jobs and 3 jobs and doing 2 internships at the same time and having mentors. And I got to a point where I was like, if I'm not happy, like there are so many successful and famous people in the world, there's so many great mentors and mentees in the world, and do we know them? No. Like, are they fabulousness famous? And do we know, and does the world know of them? No. So it's not important. That's not what's important. What's important is that you are respected and you respect back, and you're loved and you love back. And so that's my first priority, and I really want to keep it that way, and I'm really struggling to always keep that as my first priority. So even going into mentorship, I don't think it should be from this mentee I'm getting this young person, exciting adventure, and for the mentees I'm not getting all these connections. That's all I'm expecting. It's that I want to care for you because I believe in you. And I, as a mentee, I trust you because I think you're amazing. And I think that needs to be the basis and always the priority for that relationship.
I think what you're saying at the end, I think you do have a lot of experience, like 40 years of experience. 16-year-olds, I don't know how old you are. Anyway, yeah, and thank you, Bev, as well. I think that's the most beautiful way I've ever been asked to do the SFS.